Hey there, Capricorn. It's me here, Krystal Clear. Happy to deliver your June 2020-24 reading. We're going to pull two cards to get us started to look at the energy for the month of June, first coming into the month, and then one as we travel out. So coming into the month, Capricorn, we have come out of the closet. Time to let down those walls a little bit to I feel like May was a month where you're really able to learn a little bit more about like the paradox of being a human, how we have the emotional side and we get the physical side. And coming out of the closet, like it's time for you to step out in your full self, your true self, and not just the parts of you that make other people feel comfortable or the parts of you that are just taking care of other people and not yourself, that it's okay for you to have a good balance of, what you are doing for yourself and for your experience and what you're doing for others and for their experience, and finding that happy medium and being unapologetic in that, but also, being grounded in your pursuit is really where you're at the beginning of the month, and being able to step forward into this, just this fuller version of yourself, your whole self, and nothing but yourself. Okay, so as we leave the month, look at that artistic expression. I do feel that communication about yourself and your needs and how you engage with people, how you share your vision and share parts of you, it really is what you're focused on this month here in June. Making sure that you're speaking and acting from the heart and from the full picture of yourself, not just from parts of yourself that you feel you're supposed to be responding from. So it doesn't have to just be, if you're seen as someone in your experience that kind of keeps everyone together and you, it's okay for you to come out and be a little bit like selfish in a way. For those of you who may be a little bit focused on your own needs and feeling a little bit selfish, it's important for you to come out more so from your heart space and start thinking about others. But I do feel that these are the two areas, and since it's a general read, how it applies to you determines where you're at in your situation and your development and expansion. But I do feel like honoring those parts of you is how much you're doing for yourself, how much are you doing for others, is it an equal balance, is it in alignment with who you are as a whole. So let's pull 4 tarot cards, and we'll pull them as if it's one for each week of the month, or for this month's message for you. So the very first week, we've got Ace of Swords. The second, we have the 5 of Wands. Okay. The third week, we've got the Page of Swords. And the fourth week, we've got an 8 of Wands. Very interesting. Swords and Wands. This definitely tells me, it's very interesting because typically, Capricorn is like the work. It's the worker. It's the person who like has a lot of practices or standards, things like that. This is very focused on the work being all about communication, and all about the energy that we have. And it's very much an internal process. So when you're coming out of the closet, it's more about accepting yourself, the beliefs that you have about yourself, and seeing yourself in this new whole identity. So the Ace of Swords, it's all about new communication coming in. And I'm going to just pair it really quickly when it came out with the 5 of Wands. And we're going to look at it more so, but I do feel like the response that some people have to your new identity might not necessarily align with your new identity. And that's why you've kept it quiet for so long, is that you've been trying to people please or appease or make comfortable of other relationships in your life. And with the Ace of Swords, it's being accepting of yourself in a new way. The ace has the crown at the top of the sword, and it's like, this sword represents this full whole identity, this unity, this oneness of both of these parts of you, who you are to others and who you are to yourself. And it's really about claiming that and holding that as your new identity, that it is that you're worthy. You are worthy of being your full and true self. And so I do feel that as you step into that more and more, you might have some more haters that come out of the woodwork, or that they're expressing themselves to you in a way that feels like you could easily just go back into the closet, be a people pleaser, allow for you to work on it and figure it out, and for you to take the high road. And the Five of Wands, because it's followed by the Page of Swords, this isn't your fight to have. So looking at the second week, as you step out into this more organic and authentic self-identity, you will be met with people who feel combative, or they feel like they are in competition with you, or they might challenge how you like receive things or what you've worked for. They have a lot of opinions on that, and you're stepping out and you're like, well, this is who I am and this is what I've worked for and I'm happy. And they're like, they may be putting their nose up to you or giving you a hard time. And you're really going to find in that second week of June that there are some relationships that they don't get a seat at your table, and it's simply just because you don't have to be battling who you are for other people. You are who you are. And if someone doesn't like that, it's oh well for them. And you don't have to continue to work hard to maintain all these relationships in your life, especially the ones that are like almost fighting against you. And so when we get into the third week, that's where like you may not be comfortable having to stand up to some of these people. Here's a great example. Let's say you used to be like kind of a partier and you've decided to live a more sober life. And maybe this will directly apply to some people out there, but Spirit is giving me this as the example. And you decide you want to live a more sober life. Well, now the people that you used to hang out with are like, oh, well, aren't you just too good for us to hang out? And oh, you're just trying to be sober and you're better than us and you can't hang and all of this, or you're copping out. The Page of Swords is like you can allow for them to have their thoughts and opinions. If they're attacking you, then you can either choose to defend yourself or just simply like, I don't know, walk away. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone. You can simply acknowledge, like, I hear that you feel that way and that's not my truth. At most, if you're going to defend yourself. But the Page of Swords is not someone who is strongly defending themselves. They're trying to find a simpler, lighter solution. You can say, well, I still want to hang out with you guys just because I don't want to be partying doesn't mean that we can't hang out. And if you guys aren't okay with that, I totally respect that. But I don't see why we can't still hang out just because I'm not, drinking or whatever else you might do if you're partying with them. Hopefully that makes some sense. But that's the example Spirit is giving me. And with this Page of Swords, it's like just because these people may have an opinion about you that doesn't resonate with the identity or the image that you're seeing of your true, whole, full self, doesn't mean that you have to like fight them on it. It just means that you have to find your authenticity and gently and lovingly claim it. And so finally, we've got the Eight of Wands, and this is opportunity. This is often quick moving. So I do feel like this month, you're able to just quickly grasp this newer identity of you and feel at peace with it, regardless of the perceptions that other people might have about you and about this new whole self-identity. I also feel like as you step away from practices or half-truths about yourself and you step into a more fuller identity of self, that there are opportunities that open up for you moving forward. New groups to connect with, new friendships, or even old connections and old friendships that were meaningful to you, they come back in. And this feels a lot to do with just like your social circle, or it's your family or your group of friends, the people you surround yourself with the most. I feel as if there are some connections that come back in that maybe were put on the back burner because of, whatever, life gets in the way, but because on your side, they have their own responsibilities, but on your side, maybe you weren't being 100% genuine. And so there's some responsibility that you can take. But I also feel that in some relationships, they're also taking the responsibility, and the two of you can reconcile. It feels like a reconciliation for some of you to reconcile with some friends or family that maybe got put to the side as some of these other identities that you had for yourself was pushed to the side. But as you come together with a fuller version and a healthier version of yourself, these types of relationships come back in, especially as these other relationships that may feel a bit toxic or competitive and not supportive of you, as they move out, the true relationships can come in. So Spirit's advice as we go through the month, we've got cultivate the divine masculine. I love that. This is all about our actions, and it's a beautiful card for coming out of the closet, cultivating your divine masculine, your what's important to you and your action, and making sure that it feels alignment with your divinity, your purpose. We've got drink deeply. Don't forget to drink your water. If you know me, if you work with me, love me or hate me, you know that I remind people to stay properly hydrated, especially seeing that you have a lot of swords and wands, and this is communication and energy, and really communication is energy that we're expressing. So with drink deeply, it is important to be properly hydrated anytime we work with energy, anytime we're doing this inner work. And I do feel that this is a big month where there's a huge transformation that happens internally, and you start to notice the trickle externally. And as you garden your heart, it produces fruits, and it yields an abundance, a bounty for you to enjoy, to nourish, and to also continue to grow and cultivate. So I like that there's guard in the heart, and there's also, Paul the Venetian has his hand on his heart, and even the water cup is in front of her heart. So I do feel that as you nourish your heart and your true identity of your whole and full self, the relationships around you continue to also grow in kind. So that's what I have for you, Capricorn, as you go about the month of June. I hope this helps. I'm wishing you all the best blessing and love always. Take care.